Do not keep these 5 types of people too close to you, especially the last one. The most dangerous relationships rarely hurt you all at once. They drain you slowly. You compromise a little more, trust yourself a little less, and by the time you realize something is wrong, they may have already taken a serious amount of your time, energy, and confidence. The first type is the person who constantly complains but refuses to take responsibility for changing anything. Every time you talk, there is a new crisis. Their boss is unfair, their coworkers are terrible, their relationship is falling apart, and life never gives them a chance. You listen, help them think through the problem, and even offer practical suggestions. But they always have a reason nothing will work. Suggest a new job, and they say they are not qualified. Suggest learning something new, and they say they have no time. Suggest one small change, and suddenly it is too difficult. Of course, everyone goes through hard seasons, and friends should be able to talk about what they are struggling with. The real problem is not occasional complaining or temporarily feeling stuck. It is when someone repeats the same problem for months, refuses to take any action, and still expects you to absorb the same emotions again and again. Why is spending time with this person so exhausting? Because they push responsibility for the problem onto the world, but they give you responsibility for managing how they feel about it. They may not actually be looking for an answer. They may only want someone to keep confirming that everyone else is the problem and they do not need to change. Over time, you are no longer supporting a friend. You are carrying the part of their life they refuse to face. The second type is the person who constantly takes but rarely gives anything back. They contact you when they need advice, a favor, a connection, or emotional support. When something goes wrong, you are one of the first people they call. But when you need help, they are suddenly busy. When you try to talk about your own problems, they quickly move the conversation back to themselves. When you make a reasonable request, they immediately calculate whether helping you benefits them. There is nothing wrong with one person giving more during a difficult season. The problem is when the relationship can only survive because you keep carrying it. You are always the one reaching out, making plans, providing support, and remembering what matters. They simply receive. The more you accommodate them, the more normal it becomes. How can you tell whether they value you or simply value what you provide? Stop automatically saying yes to every request. Ask for one reasonable thing in return and watch how they respond. Someone who genuinely cares will understand that friendship requires effort from both sides. Someone who only values your usefulness will become irritated the moment you are no longer convenient. The third type is the person who cannot genuinely handle seeing you improve. You get an opportunity and they call it luck. You start earning more and they say you just happened to enter at the right time. You begin exercising, learning, or changing your life, and they either joke that you will quit soon or accuse you of thinking you are better than everyone else. Are they really just keeping you grounded? Maybe not. A good friend may question your plan or warn you about risks, but they will still respect your decision and feel happy when you make progress. A person who feels threatened by your growth has to explain every success as luck, fake confidence, or unfair advantage because your progress forces them to notice their own lack of movement. Stay around that long enough and you may start hiding good news. You stop sharing plans. You downplay your own accomplishments so they will not feel uncomfortable. You think you are protecting the friendship, but you are really learning to make yourself smaller inside it. If someone is only comfortable when you are struggling, they may not care about you as much as they care about making sure you never outgrow them. The fourth type is the person who has no interest in moving forward but keeps trying to convince you to stop. You want to learn a new skill and they ask why you are making life so hard. You start working out and they tell you to relax and enjoy yourself. You apply for a better opportunity and before they know anything about it, they tell you that you probably will not get it. There is nothing wrong with choosing a quiet, stable life. Not everyone needs to chase promotions, start a company, or earn more money. The problem is not that they want a different life. The problem is that they cannot tolerate you wanting something different. Every time you seriously commit to a goal, they mock it, dismiss it, or try to talk you out of it. Your ambition makes them uncomfortable, so they try to lower your standards until your choices no longer challenge theirs. Reminding you to rest once in a while can be caring. Repeatedly telling you to give up every time you try to grow is different. A real friend does not have to choose the same path you do, but they will not demand that you stop simply because they have decided not to continue. The fifth type, and the most dangerous, is the person who slowly takes away your ability to trust your own judgment while calling it concern. At first, they may treat you extremely well, so well that you begin to believe they are the only person who truly understands you. Then, they start evaluating your friends, criticizing your job, and questioning your decisions. You meet someone new, and they immediately say that person cannot be trusted. You consider a new opportunity, and they insist you are going to get hurt. You make a decision without their approval, and they make you feel guilty for not listening. They rarely say, you have to obey me. Instead, they say, I'm only worried about you. Those people do not really care about you. I'm doing this for your own good. Why do you trust everyone else more more than me. It sounds protective, but look at what happens over time. Your circle becomes smaller. You become less confident making decisions on your own. Before doing anything, you feel like you need their approval. You trust your own judgment less and become increasingly convinced that only they know what is best for you. Someone who genuinely cares may offer advice and warn you about risk, but they still respect your right to decide. A controlling person keeps trying to prove that you are incapable of making good decisions until you become dependent on their approval. Care makes you stronger. Control makes you less able to function without the controller. Recognizing these patterns does not mean you should end every relationship after one bad interaction. With people who constantly complain or take without giving, start by reducing the emotional labor and automatic favors you provide. With people who repeatedly minimize your progress or discourage your goals, share less with them and make it clear that you need respect, not constant negativity. But when someone repeatedly isolates you from other people, attacks your judgment, and uses guilt or shame to control your decisions, the goal is no longer to convince them to change. The priority is protecting your boundaries, reconnecting with people you trust, and creating distance from the relationship. So, what kind of people are worth keeping close? Not people who are positive every second, never complain, or always have the perfect advice. Good friends still struggle, make mistakes, and need support. The difference is that they take responsibility for their own lives and respect your right to make decisions about yours. They do not use you as a permanent emotional outlet. They do not only appear when they need something. They do not minimize your progress because it makes them uncomfortable. And they do not slowly take away your friendships, choices, or confidence in the name of love or concern. A healthy relationship gives you more strength to become yourself. A dangerous one makes you slowly lose yourself just to keep the other person close.